Hi guys, thank you so much for stopping by. I'm Martin and I usually do vlogs of my little outdoor adventures and gear reviews in German on this channel. But today I would like to give you a small test and product review for the Nightcat one-person ultralight trekking tent in English. I've had this tent on my wish list for a while as I'm looking to gradually reduce the weight and pack size of my hiking gear. And it is also very attractively priced compared to other tents of this type and with comparable parameters. I bought the Nightcat tent hammock last year and used it for a full 7 days on my kayak tour in Sweden, and I just loved it. It was my favorite piece of gear after the full week in the wild. You can also watch this on my channel. My good friends from Nightcat Outdoor made this one-person ultralight hiking tent available to me free of charge so that I could put it through all of its paces. Thank you very much, Nightcat, I really appreciate it. And since I'm allowed to keep the tent afterwards, this video will be marked as a paid advertising partnership. So now look at that little thing. It just weighs 980 grams, barely 2 pounds, including all packs, stakes and lines, and the packing size is also pretty minimal. My tarp is not significantly smaller or lighter than this. And here you have a waterproof floor and a mosquito net included. The only thing you need to set it up is your own hiking pole or trekking stick or whatever you want to call it. An adjustable tent pole or even a trimmed branch should work just as well for this. And on my next tour I will try to set it up with a branch so that I don't have to take anything else with me in advance at all, reducing the overall weight of my gear even further. Alright, we'll go into the other technical parameters a little later, but for now let's set this thing up. Let's take a closer look at the details and the interior of the tent. This tent is also called Lanshan version 2 Pro, if you were wondering. A lot of people recognize this tent as a Lanshan in pictures, so you're absolutely correct. As you have seen, it is very easy to set up by yourself in a very short amount of time. And setting it up is no problem even in strong winds, and the first thing you do is pin the tent to the ground at all 4 corners. Then the trekking pole is placed and the height adjusted, and finally the guy lines are tightened, and that's it. It couldn't be easier or faster. The technical parameters and dimensions are as follows. As I said earlier, this thing weighs barely a kilogram or 2 pounds. The floor size is 270 centimeters in length, 100 centimeters in width and 125 centimeters in height. So 106 by 39 by 49 inches. The package dimensions are 33 by 14.4 by 14.2 centimeters or 13 by 5.7 by 5.6 inches, but you could compress that even more. The packs are made of aluminum and together weigh 90 grams. The outer rainfly is made out of 15D nylon silicon PU and has a hydrostatic head of 5000 mm. And the tent floor is made out of 20D nylon silicon PU and has a hydrostatic head of 8000 mm. The inner layer is of high density 15D premium quality mesh net. It is meant to be a 3-season tent for spring, summer and autumn or fall, but I tested it in winter right in the middle of snow and constant sleet for one night anyway, and it did a great job there too. Unfortunately, I was only at the campsite when it was completely dark and I didn't have a strong enough lamp with me to properly illuminate the scene. That's why the shots of the night and the snow are unfortunately a bit too dark, but I hope you can still see everything as far as possible. There was sleet all night and the tent still held tight. I placed the tent floor directly on the completely wet forest floor without putting a footprint or any other type of moisture protection underneath. It still kept everything tight and dry all night. No moisture or water entered the tent through the floor. Even from above, everything remained largely sealed, although the tent was pressed down from all sides by the wet and dripping snow. Only in the places where the snow was really massive and was lying directly on the fabric for a long time some moisture got inside. The wetness that came in remained completely on the outer fly sheet though. I for myself stayed completely dry inside. From my point of view, the tent can also be used in winter without any problems. I was able to cook my dinner sitting completely upright in the large awning or vestibule without any problems. Protected from rain and wind, it was no problem to heat my water with a small Esprit fuel tablet in no time, although these are extremely wind sensitive. Oh yeah, and since it was pitch black, I didn't even put all the guy lines in place. I only attached the frontal line in the middle at the entrance. I didn't use all the other ones on the sides and back when setting it up in the snow. And still, the tent stood firm and upright all night without any problems. This thing is sturdy. Nothing wobbled or flapped at all. Now let's take a look at the good piece again in daylight and what else it has to offer. There is a reinforced zip cover flap on the front opening to prevent it from flapping around in the wind and protecting the zipper from rain. The flap lays itself down on the Velcro. The zipper is really nice and free-flowing. You can easily open the zipper one-handed. The same applies to the zipper of the inner mesh net. Easy, free-flowing, and you can do it one-handed here as well in both directions. Both sides of the front door can be opened up so you can lay in there and just enjoy the complete view and all your surroundings. There is a little hook outside at the top of the tent you could use to hang the tent for drying, or even set it up with a ridge line between some trees, so you could use the tent even without a hiking pole or stick or branch or whatsoever. I'll definitely try that out in the future as well. All seams are double stitched and taped on the inside. There is also an additionally forced section at the top where the hiking pole is sitting, so the pole doesn't come through there. You have reinforced stress points at the guy lines, and the bottom corners are also reinforced. The line locks are glow in the dark, so you can see them at all times. And in my opinion, there is a very good overall ventilation throughout the complete tent. The inner sheet is all mesh, so you have a lot of ventilation here. And on the top of the outer rainfly there is an additional vent to get even more airflow. There is a lot of space between the outer rainfly and the inner mesh sheet. So even if there is condensation or water coming through in a heavy rain, it should stay on the outer rainfly and can flow down from there. And not coming into the inner room where you are sleeping, just as it did during my night in constant sleet and snow. There are a lot of pole-style ultralight tents which are only single skin, which is all well and good, but I don't want to wake up in a pool of condensation in the morning being all wet. I definitely prefer this two-layer style. I'm 183 centimeters or 6 foot tall and can easily lay down completely flat and still can fully stretch out my arms above my head. I have 40 to 50 centimeters of room at the top or the bottom to get my complete backpack and gear with me in the tent and store it there so it doesn't have to be out on the vestibule or awning during bad weather. So, what is my conclusion about the nightcat one-person ultralight trekking tent? As far as I've been able to test it, I'm extremely happy with it. Both the pack size and the weight are great. It keeps everything tight and dry on the inside. You can set it up by yourself in very few minutes. I've spent the cold winter night in the snow in constant sleet with no problems. I stayed dry, and that's all that matters to me in that situation. All seams and gluings look high quality to me. You can simply sit upright here in the awning and the vestibule and cook sheltered from the wind, and you have a lot of space on the inside. So as far as I'm concerned, in an emergency situation you can fit in here 2 people without a problem. There's enough space in here. And first and foremost, the price-performance ratio for me is very good. I've seen comparable ultralight tents with worse parameters for almost twice the price than this piece of gear. And if there's one thing I could improve on this tent, it would be a compression stuff sack instead of this roll top bag. With a compression pack sack you could definitely get more out of the packing size. There's still more air to get out of this. But all in all, I'll give this tent a big thumbs up. I would definitely recommend it, just as I did the tent hammock from Nightcat, and many thanks again to Nightcat for providing me this tent for testing and reviewing. I really do appreciate it. Alright, that's it from me for today. I really hope this was a little bit informative and helpful for you and could contribute something to your possible purchase decision. You can find the link to the product and to Nightcat in the video description down below, and if you have any questions, please just let me know in the comment section. I'm reading and answering everything. Have a great time, stay healthy, and see you at the next little auto adventure.